guys, welcome to Sippin Spillin with Syd and Mike.
Hola!
From 3 Mississippi. I have my badge right there. And my badge right there. He's badgeless.
Oh, I got my badge.
He's got his sip.
Cheers.
There. That's an old TCR glass, but hey, whatever works. For you old timers that know what that is, there you go.
I'm keeping it behind me so I don't flip some horseradish into it.
Yeah, he's making, why would you do that, Michael?
Nobody saw that.
Yeah, everybody saw that.
Nobody's gonna know.
They're gonna know. Yeah, so Mike is making some hot sauce. But
right now, Mike is peeling a horseradish.
Yeah, he's actually, and he's not used horseradish before. I'm not sure what this experiment is that he's doing.
No, I have not used horseradish in any of my ferments, but
It smells good. I know you bought a big brick of horseradish like this before.
I don't remember what I used it for.
I just don't remember what we did with it. But I remember that we bought it. And I know you used it for something, but I can't remember for what. So
I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either. I don't know. But it is what it is.
I know what I'm gonna do with this one.
Accurate. So yeah, his plan, he's got some beets, he's got jalapenos. We're multitasking tonight while we do Sippin Spillin here.
That's right.
He's got his garlic and looks like some turmeric and the bell peppers, onion, habanero, garlic, 2 different kinds of garlic, I guess, going on here. I don't know if he's making 2 different things or all one thing.
Trying to decide how I want to. I don't think I want to do that. I feel like that is going to take too long. So I think what I'm going to do is cube this up and then blend it after I ferment it.
That's an option.
This stuff is not easy to cut.
No.
It's very fibrous.
Yeah, it is. That's why when you get like the jars of horseradish, it still has some of that, I would almost call it pulp, like kind of in it, even though it's like pureed. And I always get the straight stuff, not the creamed ones, but I don't know. He's making his own situation, and it's cold, guys. It's supposed to get down to 26 this week, and we're expecting rain off and on a little bit here and there, so it'll warm up a little bit when it rains, but or according to the weather, but which might be a little bit of a problem for him finishing his other row out there. So we'll see what happens. Tonight it's hard when the sun sets earlier. It's harder to go out there in the dark and, work when you can't see. You gotta kind of like do certain things inside when it's dark or bad weather. So he's working on his ferments. Like we just kind of have to switch things up, when that's the case.
I'm definitely going to finish that garden somehow.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely going to get the chicken coop laid out on the ground so that we can dig that.
Right.
Those are both high priorities. Probably the chicken coop is the higher priority to get that laid out. So that we can have a guy come dig it and then try to get the concrete poured before we did
have the plumber guy come out today.
Yeah. So, and he recommended that I actually have a whole nother water meter installed and run a separate line for the ag stuff. So, I was thinking about eventually trying to dig a well for the ag, but that's down the road because of how pricey it's going to be. So it's probably not a bad idea to look into adding another meter and running a dedicated line.
And that will do 2 things. It'll enable us to see like the water usage specifically versus the house. And the reason plumber recommended that too was because of drop in water pressure since we were running water so far away from the main.
Yeah, he thinks that if we run water all the way down to the garden plot off of the house, that while that line is charged and we're using water down there, even if it's just for drip irrigation, he thinks there's a good chance that we're going to tank our water pressure at the house.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't considered because I'm not a water pressure expert.
Right.
But that's why I called a professional.
A professional. Yeah. So, well, I guess we'll find out. I've got to try to get a hold of the water people, which is a little bit tricky, but I'm going to try tomorrow and see if I can't look. Wow, what?
Smell my finger. Very horseradishy. Syd loves hot things, right?
Good deal.
So
that's why I like you, honey.
So I have. Oh, I'm putting
you
gloves on
shaved.
for this. It was like 2 days ago.
Yeah, but like I hadn't touched your face and felt it's smooth like butter. I hadn't like molested your face.
So because Syd likes things really hot,
Mike
I had
needs
this
gloves.
I had this idea to add habanero and garlic for flavor and turmeric for health
And color.
to this ferment with the horseradish, and it will be a very probiotic horseradish that's
I
a lot
will
hotter
put that
than-
on some prime rib.
a lot hotter than normal horseradish. So
I'm okay with that. I guys, you don't understand. Like I will take like a spoon of horseradish and eat it just to feel that burn in the bridge of your nose, like between your eyes. I love that. Like I love that.
and this is going to be definitely hotter than normal horseradish
Which is
because
fine.
of all that craziness.
So basically,
right
he's
there.
just making it for me because nobody
Oh, yeah.
else is dumb enough to eat
There's
it.
zero chance that I could eat this.
Right. That's okay though.
I can barely even smell this. Should I add 2 habaneros or just 1? I'm also making a hot sauce tonight.
I say 2.
So the rest of these habaneros,
I say 2 into the horseradish.
you say 2 into the
Yeah, 'cause
horseradish?
otherwise 1 you're not gonna know. You gotta do 2 to be on the safe side. And he finished the other ferments of the probiotic and stuff, and I made my relish, and we've got the probiotic drink, and I used my immersion blender and choppy it.
Choppy.
Yeah, so when I made my salad tonight, which is sitting on the counter waiting for us to finish this, I put some of that I chopped up in there. And it makes like a really, I'll show you guys real quick. It's just right over here in the fridge.
It's almost like it's like a relish.
I mean, from what I understand, because the way y'all were describing chow chow, it's kind of similar to that in a way.
It would be similar to chow chow before you blended it. Chow chow's chunkier.
This is pretty chunky. I mean, I don't know. It's pretty chunky. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. But
It's
so
pretty
good.
spicy.
It makes your water, like you can feel it coming in. I love it. It's so good. And it's so good for you. It's so good for you. And then then I have my little shot. I'll pour of the liquid that was in it is the probiotic drink, and that's what I drink every night before we eat. So, man, it's just so much better than the store-bought versions. Like, I'll get the store-bought ones in between, like whether we, we didn't get a chance to, or we ran out. And since we moved, he hasn't made any. And once we found all the jars and everything, he was able to make it. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait. Tonight's the first night I get to have some. So I'm excited about that.
Garlic is so yummy.
Garlic is so yummy. I do love garlic. I just like the Italian in me. The more garlic, the better. There's never enough garlic for me. Like, just when you think there's enough, add more.
Hey, Frankie Chop.
Yes, sir.
I need a hand real quick.
You always need a hand.
You always need a hand.
I do.
But
Could you get me the Himalayan salt, which is to the right of the stove and up high, and a spoon? out of just a regular kitchen spoon. Please and thank you.
There you go.
Syd's over here yawning.
I know, I didn't mean
Woo,
to
y'all
say
are
to
boring
hide it.
her.
Sorry, no. I did not sleep very well. I'm struggling with the time change, really, to be honest. I'm having a hard time going to bed, and then I'm having a hard time getting up on time. It's just which is not like me. So I'm just a little struggle
I
busty
thought
with
they didn't
that.
have habaneros in
They didn't. We found
the Mississippi.
We
no,
found
they
some
haven't.
in,
We found some in West Point or Tupelo. I forget where we were.
Tupelo.
Yeah. So yeah, good times.
And a nice healthy amount of turmeric, right?
To make it nice and orange. Really looks like a carrot. Does it taste like turmeric?
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to gauge the flavor profile.
Oh, okay. You do you, Bobo. I can't believe like Thanksgiving is like right around the corner.
It is.
Like right around the corner. And which is kind of blowing my mind a little bit because I just kept thinking it was further away. I know, strange, spoken by the woman who already has her tree put up. But I don't know, I just was thinking, I don't know, this month is kind of already flying by, I feel like. It's weird, man. It's weird. And then I had to call, I didn't even tell you, I spent like 30 minutes on the phone this morning because we had switched a while back when we moved here. It's been a couple months now. We had T-Mobile for years and years and years, but when we got out here, we just didn't have as very good reception no matter what we did. And so Mike was like, well, you know, a lot of people have Verizon out here, so let's do that. So I switched us over. And I got one bill from T-Mobile, and I was like, okay, that's probably this last month's bill because there was a little bit of overlap. So I was like, okay, they just charged me for the month, whatever. I kind of figured I was going to get one more bill. Well, then I saw today I got another bill, and it was like twice the amount of a normal bill. So it was like over $300 and something. And I was like, what? So I called them, and they were like, well, yeah, you owe like half of that, and da-da-da-da. And she gives me this runaround after she had me on hold forever, talking to her manager because she couldn't figure it out. And then I said, that's not right. I don't owe anything else. I paid everything else off at the store when I transferred the numbers out, and I already paid the last bill. So why are you still debiting my account? And she's like, oh, let me check. And so then she's like, okay, yeah, we'll refund the whole amount. And I was like, yes, you will. Thank you. But if I had not kept pushing on it, she would have still charged me for one more full month, even though we had already long since before then disconnected the number. So it took me 30 minutes, but I got it done.
Got it done.
Got her done. But you gotta watch those cell phone providers, man. They'll try to sneak it in there like an extra bill or whatever. And I had the same thing happen with all of our other bills from when we were, you know, leaving California. So like your electric bill, because normally, you know, there's only one electric company out there, right? So you just transfer your service to the next address, and it's just basically nothing changes. It's just the same thing. But because we were moving, I was like canceling our account, and they tried to sneak in an extra thing or whatever too, and I had to go back and be like, nope.
There it is.
There it is. It looks like tofu.
I know. We're gonna let that ferment for a week, and then we'll immersion blend it and kind of make it kind of creamy.
It'll be like a horseradish, like that you'd get in the jar.
Except for hotter. And it'll taste better because I've added the garlic.
Right, it'll be pretty.
And the turmeric is going to give it kind of an orange color, but it's also really healthy. It's really good for you. And then fermented turmeric is even better. So,
well, and the nice thing too about fermenting is, like, for those of you who aren't as familiar with it, yes, you could then, like, if you pressure canned this to make it shelf stable, you lose the health benefits of the fermenting.
right, you lose the actual probiotics.
Yeah.
You know.
So, but if you do just the fermentation and you store it in your fridge, provided it's something that you're going to use in a relatively timely manner, a few weeks, maybe like a month or two. So then it's fine in your fridge. So it's not like it's going to expire in like a day. It will last for a while in your fridge.
Yeah, when
on
you
what you're
ferment
doing.
something, if you keep it cold,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
It'll last longer than that probably, but
6 months.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, that stuff never lasts that long around here. We finish it way before then.
Right.
Because we have done like he'll do his spicy carrots and things like that, and there's occasions where like maybe the jar got kind of shoved behind something for a while, and we'll be like, oh, look what we found, and it's still perfectly fine.
Oh, I did make some spicy carrots the other day.
You did. I saw that.
And when I did my last batch of probiotics, where we got that relish from, I went ahead and I had, because I got carrots. I like to add carrots to my ferments because I really like the flavor that the carrot imparts. But I got extra carrots, so I went ahead and sliced up some jalapenos and some of those carrots and some more garlic. You have to add garlic to everything. That's like a rule. If you don't add garlic to it, don't even invite me to the party.
That's true. That's why he married me, because I'm like 50% garlic.
Yeah, so we don't ever have to worry about vampire.
That's true. Yeah, I do love my garlic.
I feel like I should add a little bit of that horseradish to the hot sauce ferment.
I feel like maybe you shouldn't, because you hadn't made the hot sauce in a few months, this recipe, and maybe you shouldn't jack
Don't
with it
want
the
to jack
first.
up the ferment.
Yeah, maybe you should just let it be the first time, especially since you haven't fermented horseradish before.
Right.
So why don't you?
Yeah, at least
see,
the only
like-
thing I'm risking is just that.
So I would hold off if I mean, you can do what you want. I'm just saying, I feel like it would be maybe smart to hold off on doing that all at once. He's the fermenting king.
I love to
I don't
ferment
know.
foods.
He does. It's like, what was it Tony said? It's a superpower.
Yeah. Yeah,
Once you learn how to ferment things, it's a superpower.
No
Yeah.
doubt.
And it is, and it's so good for you. Like, all those probiotics, they really, really are good for your gut health and your microbiome, and so good.
I am going to add some turmeric to this hot sauce.
Really?
Because I have done that before.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay, I believe you. You're the one that knows your recipe.
I'm not even following any of my recipes right now.
Oh,
I'm
you're
just...
not? I thought you were, because I saw the beets and stuff.
Well, the most important part of the recipe is 2% of the dry weight in salt. Like, that's the most important,
Right.
The rest of it is, about flavor, and that jar weighs 757 grams empty. So, once I get done here, I can just weigh it, and I'll know exactly, before I add the water, I'll know how much salt to add.
Well, there you go. That's a good thing. I am excited. Tonight when we eat dinner, we're gonna watch Yellowstone. We didn't watch the premiere last night because I guess I was confused. I thought it was on the regular Paramount, which we do have, and it's not on that. So I had to get something else for to be able to watch it. So it's on Sling with an add-on or something. So I had to do that so we can watch the premiere a day late.
The premiere!
Season premiere. But I'm excited because I don't know if y'all, I know a lot of people watch it, but not everybody does. But it's well done, and I do like. I haven't watched all of Taylor Sheridan, who wrote Yellowstone. I haven't watched all of his shows, but I've watched several of them. I guess he's got a new one out too with Sylvester Stallone. I think that's his as well, called Tulsa King,
Oh, really?
which looks intriguing.
Well, I'm telling you, that dude is putting in the work right now.
Yeah, he's cranking out the
he
shows.
is cranking it out.
Yeah.
I think his game plan is probably going to be work really, 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 really ridiculously hard for 5 years and then retire.
Maybe. Well, I mean, he's like
Because he's doing
big
everything.
in the horse world. He's been
That's
doing
right.
that for a long time. This was like a accidental byproduct, I feel like, that he just all of a sudden started doing this. I could be wrong. I do remember hearing some interview or something about that, but I think he's very talented the way he weaves his stories. Even though, if you look at like the baseline of the story, it's very, kind of like somebody was comparing the story of Yellowstone to Legends of the Fall, that movie from the 90s with Brad Pitt and Aidan Quinn and Anthony Hopkins. And it is very similar in a lot of ways. But there's, there's only so many basic storylines out there, and kind of like the everything is just a repeat of Greek tragedies, and then you just add your own spin to it kind of thing.
Yeah, every now and then somebody surprises me and comes up with something unique, but I think the real challenge is, putting a unique spin
on something you've heard before.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
That's the challenge. Ooh, look at that. Look how yellow my fingers
That's
are.
the turmeric.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am excited though to watch it. So I can't remember where it left off. So hopefully they do a quick recap because I have no idea.
Yeah, they will.
I don't know if they will or not. We'll find out, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I totally had it confused with 1886
1883.
or whatever.
But yeah.
So now I'm remembering, like, who are all the key characters?
You have Beth and you have John Dutton and
Right.
I forget the other son's name right now. I can't.
Like,
think of
what
it,
was
but
going on with Beth at the time that it ended?
I don't remember. That's the thing.
And what was going on with John Dutton? And what was going on with the son who was running for office?
I don't know.
And the other guy that was like kind of running his business for him that
was his biological father.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to. There's a lot going on.
So much going on there. I just don't remember. It was so long ago.
So long ago. I know. But anyway, we got sidetracked. But I was bringing up Thanksgiving, and then we went on a
tangent.
A tangent.
A tangent.
Yeah, I was starting to go over like what things I'm gonna make because our this wonderful family that sort of welcomed us and adopted us that lives down the road has invited us to join them they do a Thanksgiving brunch with like their whole family, and then the family kind of breaks apart and everybody does with their own other extended family for actual Thanksgiving dinner. And so one of the family units out of that whole unit has invited us to have Thanksgiving dinner with them because we spend a lot of time with them and we've gotten to be really good friends. And
Ooh, did you see that habanero seed pop up?
I did not. Is that good luck? Is it like throwing salt over your shoulder? You
No,
throw a habanero seed over your shoulder.
It's not good. You don't want that in the eyeball.
Well, you got your goggles on. You're fine. But anyway, so she was like, they came over for dinner last week, and I had made a big old salad with like a stew. And she was like, oh my gosh, can you make this salad for Thanksgiving? And I was like, really? That's all you want me to make is a salad? And she's like, oh my gosh, yes, like this is good. And I was like, all right. So I was like, I'll make a salad. But then I found this like appetizer thing that I'm going to make to bring to that ends up looking like a Christmas wreath that you like wrap it in dough and you like stuff it with brie and cranberries and nuts and stuff. And I'm like, that looks good. I'll make that. And she's like, yeah. And then for the Thanksgiving brunch, I think I'll probably end up making my scones, my famous scones, and some little, I think I might do some mini egg quiches too. So for the rest of their family to enjoy.
I'm going to give you all a pro tip right now. See this right here?
That's a beet.
That's a beet.
You gotta beat it.
Okay, now,
Beat it.
I want to tell you something. All right? Beets are a very earthy flavor.
Yes.
A flavor that I very much love. Okay? And they are a wonderful natural dye.
Yes.
So, if I want to increase the deep red color of my hot sauce, what I'll do is I'll slice off a couple of these beets or a couple slices of these beets and drop them into my hot sauce. And what's going to happen is it's going to add a really earthy flavor to the hot sauce, right? Which I love. And it's going to deepen that color quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just pro tip from me.
And then you have some fermented beets, which is very good too.
Yeah, and then the rest of that beet, I'll do something with it.
Yeah.
So, and then the garlic, and then I'll add quite a few jalapenos and some onion. Got to add some onion in there. Not too much onion. You got to be careful with the acidity properties in the onion when it comes to fermenting. Google that yourself. And then the rest of the filler is going to be these bell peppers right here because they're really meaty. You know, the walls of bell peppers are meaty. So when you're trying to add that thicker texture, it's good to use. If you like a really runny hot sauce like a Tabasco, then you really don't need to add too many of those. Just enough for whatever flavor you're going for. But I like the hot sauce to be a little thicker. You know.
I think I got my first trigger bite. And so.
Not sure if you understand how chiggers work.
Well, it's in me.
Yeah.
I know.
It's not a bite. It's a living thing
well,
in
I'm
you.
not sure if it is or not. I can't
Look at it.
tell. But Frankie put nail polish over the top of it.
Most of the time, they're not going to be up here on your arm. That is a something bite. That's not a chigger.
You don't think so? Well, it's got nail polish on it now, just in case to suffocate it.
Yeah, you got bit by something.
I don't know. Well, here's the thing. I was filming them yesterday in the pasture, and I at one point got down really low, and I was like in the grasses with the camera trying to get like a cool shot, and I had my arm just kind of like in the grass, and I think that's probably when it happened because I was just, and I didn't have my big jacket on and it was cold and I was like, oh, I wish I would have grabbed a jacket. And I had on like a cardigan, like a thin cardigan and a long sleeved, like kind of thin shirt underneath, and I was freezing, but I was trying to keep the camera steady in the grass. I suffer for my art.
Suffer for your art?
Suffer for my art. And then I got this lovely little bite and I kept scratching it in my sleep. So when I woke up this morning, it was all irritated. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's a trigger bite. But then I'm like, I don't know, because there was some mosquitoes down there, but I didn't get bit. It didn't feel like a regular mosquito bite. But I also know that there's like a gazillion bugs. I've had so many different kinds of bug bites since I've been here that all react very differently and itch differently. But I don't know what bit me.
Yeah, you're in the South now, baby.
The things just bite me.
This is where the bugs come from.
But I will say, I haven't gotten eaten up as badly. The first couple weeks I was here, I did. But then, like, I think it's like iocane powder. I'm building up an immunity slowly.
Iocane powder?
Yeah. And fire swamp. Yeah, and stuff. Look at you making your hot sauce all spicy and whatnot.
Hey, I will eat this hot sauce.
This one, yeah, this will be okay.
I can eat habanero hot sauce.
You didn't put any. Normally, you put like a fruit in it, like a mango.
Not always. I only have 2 recipes that have fruit in them. You got to be really careful with sugars in fermentations. They change things, and since I haven't fermented in this particular at this altitude or in this, I mean, we're at a very low altitude. Mm-hmm. The barometric pressure is very different. The temperatures are very different. Things ferment slower at lower temperatures.
Right.
And the longer the process, the more possibility for bad bacteria to grow.
Right.
So when you're doing a lower temperature, slower ferment, there's more danger.
Danger, Will Robinson.
Right.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine.
It's gonna be fine. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. So, yeah, busy week this week. I was hoping it was gonna slow down a little bit, but we've got pantry boxes that we were packing on Wednesday, and I got an appointment with a chiropractor. I'm very excited about that because I've woken every morning with a neck issue and like a headache. And I know my one arm is longer than the other right now, and my one leg is longer than the other right now, so I need to get cracked and whacked pretty badly.
I challenge everybody that's watching this video right now, for the rest of the video, for the duration of the rest of this video, don't touch your face. Don't touch your face. Go ahead.
That's how you get the big vid.
I'm just going to show people that when you mentally tell yourself, oh, don't touch your face, that's when you need to touch your face. It's crazy how that works. One of y'all's touching your face already. Somebody out there.
One of you was doing it like as he was saying that, and then you freaked out. Maybe.
It's like when I'm getting ready to take a picture of Syd.
I blink.
As I'm counting, literally the moment that she blinks.
Yeah, suddenly my eyes get very, very dry and twitchy, and then I blink.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
it's a mental thing.
It is. Maybe I'm just doing it to mess with you.
I think you're just mental.
That's possible too. I did marry you.
Oh, this is gonna be so good. We haven't had any of my homemade hot sauce since we moved.
Since before we moved. Well, no, we had some jars. That's
No,
true.
yeah.
We did have some
I
jars.
gave a dozen jars
That's
away.
true. Because we couldn't take, there was
when
stuff
we
that we
moved.
couldn't take with us. So it was like, so we gave it to some friends and yeah.
Yeah, I gave away a dozen jars when we moved.
Yeah. But I mean, so I do miss it. It's been a while now. Like, you know, it's been since July. I haven't had any of his probiotic or his hot sauce or anything. So
It's on now.
on like Donkey Kong.
I mean, I pretty much, as a general rule,
I just want to eat this with a spoon right now. It's just like
as a general rule, I pretty much always have something fermenting.
pretty much
I figure because, you know, the fermentation process,
takes
you know, takes a minute. So if you wait until you're out before you start a batch, then you'll be going a week without it, you know. And everything's different. Like I said here, I kind of have to open things and check them and test them to see, like this particular hot sauce that I'm making right now doesn't need to be shelf stable because we're gonna eat it too fast. When I'm making hot sauce and I have hot sauce and I'm building up like my supply, I need to get the pH down to like 4.2 or 4 in order for it to be shelf stable. So, you know, then it tends to have to ferment it longer in order to do that, or add vinegar, which I don't like to do.
Yeah.
And there's this special spot during the ferment where you get the pH low enough, but you haven't changed the flavor to vinegar yet. If you go too long, you start tasting the vinegar. You're creating vinegar, right? So there's this special spot, and I can nail it pretty good just off a recipe during a particular time of the year in Southern California when temperatures are very consistent. But other than that, I have no idea. None. Couldn't tell you how long this is going to take. I'm going to have to open this jar after 5 days. Nah, I probably won't after 5 because it's so cold. I'll probably open this jar after 7 days and taste test it. I won't bother pH testing it because, like I said, I'm not trying to make anything shelf stable. But I'll have to taste test it, and then I'll probably have to taste test it like every 2 days after that until it gets to the spot that we want it. And you can also kind of gauge it by the flesh of the peppers, you know, when they start to get a little, because during the process they're like breaking down, right? So there's a particular texture that they get to when it's
nerding out right now.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. How many of y'all have touched your face yet?
Ew.
Those jalapenos on my digits.
Oh my goodness.
I wear gloves when I cut habaneros because the habaneros, depending on the quality of the pepper and how fresh it is and where it was grown, and some of them have a lot more of that capsicum,
oil,
whatever, and they'll like burn my hands sometimes.
Yeah.
But
or if you've got like a cut or something, like, you know, like a dry cracked skin and it gets in there. Ooh, sister. It's a bit. Well, on that note, I think it's dinner time.
Okay, I still got work to do here, but you can eat.
I will.
I'll eat when I get done packing that jar.
Yeah, I won't take you too much longer.
We're gonna have extra.
That's all right.
Not enough extra to make another jar.
I'll use it this week. I'll cook the things. I'll make the things and feed you the food. It's fine. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, and we appreciate you. And we will see you tomorrow
On the next one.